Thank you very much. 6:43 right now. It's time for Monday Mornings with the Mayors.
Henderson Mayor Debra March joining us this morning. Thank you for coming in, Debra.
It's a pleasure for me to be here today.
Well, my goodness, that wacky weather we've been talking about Friday night, Saturday. All right, we at the Henderson Pavilion, we suffered some serious damage there. Yes. And of course, that's a place we have so many wonderful concerts, family activities, where all the Knights rallies were held.
Yes.
It's going to be a pretty big job.
Well, we're going to have to replace the roof.
Yeah.
We clearly lost a good portion of it. So, you know, that was an intense storm. I think it's something we haven't seen in Henderson that I remember. The things that happened on the Boulder Highway with the power lines down. And we've twice had to open our emergency operations center and had to house some folks who needed a place to get out of the heat because their power was down.
Yeah, between the pavilion and the washes being full and Boulder Highway, just quite a storm over the weekend. Other news and events happening down at City Hall. Henderson has a new city manager. So how is that going to affect some of the city business moving forward? You know,
we're thrilled that Richard Derrick agreed to serve as our city manager. He's been a longtime city employee, 20 years. He was our chief financial officer prior to being selected as city manager. And he worked us through some very difficult times, through the difficult economic times and the downturn. We have a AA+ bond rating, which is the highest bond rating of any city in the state of Nevada. We have the lowest property tax rate of probably any city in the state of Nevada, or close to, at 71 cents per $100 of assessed value. He's had a steady, strong hand with regards to our financial resources, but on top of that, he's a great team player. He works well with his leadership team, and he works well with the city council, so we look forward to what the future brings with him as our city manager.
Wonderful. Let's talk about some upcoming events. March On events.
Yes, today at 3:30 we're actually hosting a March On event. You know, when I was elected mayor, one of the things that I heard over and over again from the residents is that they wanted transparency and they wanted more public engagement. And so that's why we set up these monthly March Ons, and we address topics that are important to the public. And tonight we're going to be hearing from our Chief of Police, Letitia Watson, and some of her leadership team talking about community policing and also data-driven policing solutions. And we're so thrilled that she joined us, and I think you're going to hear some great things about what's happening in Henderson and how we're addressing crime in our community.
Wonderful. Are people able to ask questions?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, and in fact then we video recorded and posted onto our website, so all of our previous March-Ons are actually available on the Henderson website.
Okay. And it's also back to school time across the valley, so how is the city helping kids get ready to get back to the classroom? Yeah,
you know, we're so committed to education in our community, and in fact, we heard as we did survey work in the community that education was a top priority for our residents. So we've actually, in the last year, given $2.5 million to the Clark County School District to address concerns and classroom needs, to make sure that we can move the needle to get better outcomes for kids. And there's a lot of things that are available on our website, by the way, if folks want to look the specific things up, but we do the Safe Routes to School program, or there's actually even some tutoring that's available for students, and we have the Safe Key program, before and after school programs, and many different programs for children and families at all ages to make sure that our kids are successful. Our goal is to move the needle and get better outcomes for our kids.
Are you doing the Apple Core Bookmark Challenge,
absolutely.
Of course? Whoever reads the most gets the big pizza party at the end of the school year. Love that.
That's a great program in our community. Yes, really absolutely.
You had one more question?
Well, yeah, we were going to talk a little bit about the Raider Stadium, that project that's being worked on down in the south part of Henderson near the airport. Yes. Any news on that front?
We're actually in meetings to move the zoning forward, the land use. We want to make sure that we can get all the approvals in place. Their goal is actually to break ground in October of this year. Okay. So it's exciting, but they want to be open in spring of 2020, so they have to get busy now to make that happen.
Everything's happening before 2020, isn't it?
Very exciting.
Mark your calendars, 2020, people.
It's very exciting.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. What a pleasure.
If you want to submit a question for Mornings with the Mayors, just go to LasVegasNow.com. You can click on the banner. It says Monday Mornings with the Mayor.
Next on